Hey, party people. Welcome to Wednesday's Lunch and Learn. We try to do this every noon o'clock Eastern time. So those of you who are watching later, feel free to message me if you have any comments or questions, and we will upload this to the group. So two things we're going to talk about today. The highlights of the dream kit of the convention oils, the things that people have really been clamoring over and really wanting and loving, and how they've affected a few people. And then we're going to talk about the question someone asked in the group about how do you talk to doctors? How do you explain to them that the natural approach is a better approach, right? How do you explain that to people, to doctors, to whoever you're talking to? Now, the reality of that, there's something very specific we're going to talk about, and then I'm going to run you through what I talk about at a class. So first, I want to do those highlights real quick. There's a few things that our family is loving. We've been using every day, and it's really been changing the way we're doing things. And I am particularly happy with yarrow palm and turmeric. I get aches and pains in the joints. And it usually has to do with some food or whatever I've been introduced to, and it just will flare up sometimes out of the blue, and there's nothing I can do for it. Ibuprofen does not work. Doctors try to put me on steroids, but I just refuse. And so I kind of just suffered through it for the most part, as long as I could, because I always know it goes away. It kind of goes away. So as long as it's doing that, I'm going to keep suffering through. But now I don't have to, because I grabbed the turmeric and I added it to copaiba and frankincense when I put it in my shoulders, and then topped it with deep blue. And within a matter of very short, maybe 3 minutes, the pain was gone. And that was the most fast acting that I've had anything work. So turmeric is now on my top list of things I can't live without. And I started putting it in my little, I have a veggie cap, like kind of a concoction of my daily routine, mega health, right? So my cellular health. And so we, as a family, we're using frankincense and copaiba and DDR prime. So we just added yarrow palm, pink pepper, and turmeric to that. And so that has been a huge change. Yarrow palm is very nice for several things. One, it has the highest amount of antioxidants that you're going to find when it comes to helping to rebuild collagen. There's so many places in our body that uses it. And so the studies are showing that in blood pressure in the blood vessels, it's making a very significant change. And so when people come to you and they have concerns about blood pressure issues, heart health, cholesterol issues, then this is going to be your oil that you go to now, like one of the main ones. There are still several, but we definitely want to go, like ylang ylang is one, but this is going to be a topper. Now, it also is really great for metabolic function, and so it's wonderful for people who struggle with insulin issues, and so that would be a great one to add to that. And so how we recommend it is, depending on the regimen, for yarrow palm, it's 2 drops twice a day if you have blood pressure or cholesterol issues. I would suggest the same for insulin issues. And then if it's for pain or just overall health, then you're just going to do 1 to 2 drops in your capsule, like your daily dose capsule in the morning or at night. Okay. The deodorant, I cannot say enough about. This was the #1 item, the product from doTERRA that was most requested to be redone. So we had deodorant before. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I used it, but it was okay. I would always have to add oils after. I have not had to add one oil after this. It smells amazing. Neil likes it. We bought him his own because he was trying to steal mine. So he has his own, and we got Jackson one. And so this is like a whole family affair. It does not smell feminine at all. It smells like balance oil, which is one of our favorite oils. So it works out perfectly for us. And it's double the size than the last one and just a couple dollars more. And so that's a steal. And the biggest thing about this is that all the companies where people are normally buying their natural products, like Schmidt, there's a couple other like Nature Core, things like that, that people are buying natural products from. They have been bought out by Procter and Gamble. What's the other big one? Armor has bought some out. So these are companies are buying them out because there's a huge market for it. But what happens when these small companies who have the people's heart, their personal desire is to make sure there's a pure product, when a giant comes in and buys it, that quality usually goes down. And it's more about getting it out to the masses for the name of it. And so that is where doTERRA will never falter. One, they're never going to be bought out. And two, they're never going to sacrifice any type of, I don't know the word, I can't get it out. Basically, when it's really good, they're not going to sacrifice quality. I couldn't get it out. Okay, that's one of our favorite things. Now, the mouthwash is totally on my list. It's not, you can't buy, we wanted to buy another bottle and you can't even buy it yet. Now, November 1st, that'll be out. The other big, huge item is the kids kit. The kids collection has been a very big success, both for children, but also for people with sensitive noses. So we've had people say, oh, the oils are kind of harsh. They're kind of really pungent, especially some of those people that you put peppermint in their mouth and they're like, ah, they freak out because it is Altoids on steroids. They are loving these oils. And so try to think of it more when you're talking to people. It's not just for kids. It does have the fun little silicone carabiner things with it to help hold on to your bag or wherever you want it. It has the flashcards that explain how to use them, what they're for, and then it has the carrying case. Now, this has just been a really fun thing. I think everybody's loving it, but it has the spots for the oils. You stick them in. You put your cards in between there, so you can kind of see that. And then you put, so your carabiners are going to be on there already, so they're going to fit down in there nicely. This little pocket is very handy. So my suggestion is to talk to people about having this as a travel kit, or this is a nice like diaper bag / on the go kit to have ready. And you can make sure to have Correctex in here. You're going to make sure to have a breathe stick. This all fits in here. I've already tried it. The like a lip balm, one of the doTERRA's lip balms. And then once that's in here and you have this up, you can squeeze in here very nicely the Terra Shield for bug spray and the On Guard hand sanitizer. So you have everything you need on the go for like quick trips and different things. So that's very handy to have. The quick run over of the oils. There is Thinker. Thinker is for focus. And so think of like a less intense smelling. Smells amazing, by the way. A less intense smelling Intune. And so it has, I'm going to tell you which oils it has because it's pretty amazing. But Vetiver, which is one of our favorites, very rich, woody smell, helps to clear the mind and help to focus. It has peppermint and clementine, which are energizing and they encourage a positive outlook on things. And research also suggests that using rosemary, which is in here, may help people recall what they previously learned. And so it's really great for test days. So use Thinker that way. And then Calmer is, I like it because it's a very mild serenity. It says lavender, Roman chamomile, very great for when you're trying to relax or trying to fall asleep. Buddhawood, it has a high concentration of complex sequesterpenes, and that just means think downer. So super calming, super grounding, very supportive of the bedtime routine as well. The aroma of ylang ylang promotes the relaxation in here. Very nice. Stronger is one of my favorites. It's the protective blend. And so when we're thinking about stronger, think On Guard, right? On Guard is protect your body, boost up the immune system. So it's just a natural defense for soothing the emotions and skin during times of distress. So it has frankincense, cedarwood, rose, and litsi. So it does have that litsi smell in it, but those are really incredible oils. Rescuer, this is Piper's favorite. She gets lots of bumps and bruises, and so she actually combines Brave because she doesn't particularly like anyone to touch her boo-boos. So she puts Brave on, and then she puts the Rescuer on her. Like yesterday, she hit her shins real bad on the door, the metal stairs, and she was laid there crying for about 5 minutes. I can't imagine how bad it hurt. But so the strong Rescuer. Rescuer has lavender, very calming to the tissue, to the head, everything. It has actually been used since the Queen Elizabeth her era in England, because it has that light floral aroma. Spearmint is very nice and topically cooling to the skin, and it has a menthol content, but not as much as peppermint. It's very refreshing. Tomar seed is harvested from a fruit that is just native to Nepal, and it's used to encourage relaxation at the end of the day. And copaiba, we know how amazing it is, but it's great for anxious feelings and for discomfort. The Steady Blend, which is Piper's absolute favorite, and we actually already broke one. Well, I think it came broke, but it smells like candy, guys. Like it smells like candy. That's probably why she loves it. Is great for balancing the mood. So think of Balance or oils like that. So that's going to be very calming. Now, Rescuer, was like Deep Blue, and my kids, especially Piper, was not a super huge fan of Deep Blue because she didn't like the super strong aroma, but she loves Rescuer. So if you have an older person who is not super a fan of that strong smell, get the Rescuer for them. I think November or December they'll be able to be bought individually. Brave is like Motivate, right? It's a lot of encouragement. Now, Stronger was On Guard, Calmer's like Serenity, and then the Steady is like Balance. I'll tell you the oils in there real quick. Balance, or the Steady, has amorous wood, which is it's kind of known as like Indian sandalwood. It's for meditation, or promotes very calm stress release and managing of that stress. So it's very gentle. Balsam Fir has like this Christmas tree aroma. It smells amazing, and it's very relaxing during busy times. Coriander seed is an herbal oil that's used for its very soothing effects, both on the tummy and on the mind. So she could even rub this on her tummy. Magnolia, which is why it smells like candy, it smells super sweet, has a high linalool content, and Magnolia can be very calming because of that linalool, and it promotes the feelings of relaxation. So that was just a quick run over. It's just a really, really great oil, and you just put them on like you do any other oils. Just back of the neck, pulse points, anywhere you need it specifically. All right, so let's go into the next thing. We're going to talk about, I'm just going to show you real quick what it is that I'm going to talk about and then explain why. But when I'm teaching a class, I always use the Natural Solutions handout. Why do I do that? One, people can duplicate it. Two, it's very, very easy. I could literally read this if I was having a bad day, and I have had bad days where I've had to go back to the words on here. So it's all about doing this over and over again. And last night's sizzle was proof that this is all you need to do, because Bailey and Matt King, right? Bailey King. They are presidential diamonds. They made it in 4.5 years to presidential diamond. And all they've done is teach this class over and over again. They just kept it very simple. She said she's taught this class 1,500 times, about 3 classes a week, 3 to 4 classes a week of her own classes. And then she would help others teach their classes. So, phenomenal, because we're just on the right track. That just proves it. All right, so when people ask me, I actually especially in class, I always bring this up before anybody else can bring this up. I always praise the modern approach. We need medical care, right? And so we have right here that you have choices, and that is the part I'm going to talk to you about today. So we have the number one thing you're going to remember is arguing never won anyone to your side, and being negative does not make people want to be on your side. So having a positive word about these things is very important. Now, we all have our own views. Some of us might think keto, everybody should be on keto. Some of us might think vaccines are horrible. Some of us might think vaccines are nice. Listen, those things are not where you teach your class. Those are very personal things, and those things will alienate other people, because we, as people who sell healthcare and people who sell a healthy lifestyle, we have to allow for other people to have their opinion. Everyone can agree to a disagree, but if we don't allow to put our feet into someone else's shoes, people are not going to want to hear what we have to say. So we always want to put our feet into someone else's shoes and see what their life, where they're coming from. So when we talk about this in the very beginning of the class, I'm just going to tell you how I do it. I always try to keep it very positive, but with just truths, okay? So when we first start out, I'll say, basically you're introducing the problem. What's the problem? The problem is we need a better option. And so I just say, now, just to respect your time, let's get right into the class. I really want to talk to you about just a few short things. What is an oil? How does it work? And why is doTERRA different? And then how do you get them into your home? But the reality is, you guys are here for a reason. That so many people are flocking to a more natural approach, because the modern approach is designed to manage our symptoms. So if any of you have ever been to the doctor for maybe a sore back, or maybe aches and pains, or a headache, and you go in and you come out with a prescription or a pain medicine, then you know exactly what I'm saying. Because what happens is you bring in your symptom, and that modern approach is to deal with that symptom, to truly focus on that symptom. So it's designed to help you there. They give you the medicine, which is typically made from an isolated or synthetic agent. So it's man-made. And what does those man-made things do? We know far and wide, because if you've ever watched a commercial, or if you've gotten your prescription at the doctor and then they've given you this whole entire pad of paper filled with symptoms that could possibly happen, or side effects, right? They're both known and unknown. And the thing is, modern approach dealing with these symptoms is a $6.5 trillion a year industry. But are we any healthier? No. Like, by now everybody's shaking their head no. Like, no, we are not healthier. That is why when I went to Best Buy, I saw essential oils on the shelf. Like, I can see them in Walmart near the candles, and I can also see them in Walmart near the pharmacy. They are everywhere because people want a more natural approach. And all that is essential oils. Essential oils are a natural approach. They address the body's needs and the root cause. Because at this point, I'll pick up a bottle of oil like peppermint. I'll say, because oils, essential oils, they come from a plant. They're the aromatic compounds from that plant. So if you ever chopped fresh rosemary or touched a peppermint plant, you actually extracted the essential oil. And what those oils do, they enhance the physical and emotional health of our bodies. They're very safe, and they have very, very minimal side effects, if any. Now, then you can go into what is an essential oil. And I do always talk about the cell and how the synthetics, those things that are coming in, the prescriptions, they're coming into our cells, but they aren't able to enter the cell. They can't enter that fatty wall. And so they actually go into the cell receptor, and that's where all the symptoms happen. When our cell receptors are clogged, we get inflammation, we get exhausted, we're fatigued, we have hives, or we have itchy skin, we have all the different things, our heart palpitations, all the things that our bodies, the medicine is trying to do. It's trying to do it to our whole body, but our whole body doesn't need that. And an essential oil will be able to actually go into the cell, carry this beautiful information in, take the bad information out, and support our cells at a very fundamental and solid foundation. So hopefully that made sense, because that is as simple as it is. We don't need to go into anything else besides what it is. And hopefully you also saw that you could read that right at the top of the Natural Solutions class handout, the brochure. It tells you right at the top those bullet points. And so make it your own with a story, or, you know, share with them an experience you've had or someone you know, because third party is very powerful. And so I might tell them how, mostly, here's the key: don't talk too much. Say those things and move on to what is an essential oil, and be very clear about what it is and what it does for the plants, and then how we can use it for us, because our cells are very similar to plants. And then why is doTERRA different? Everyone likes to hear good things. And so when we talk a lot about healing hands and co-impact sourcing and how that affects everybody, I'm actually going to do a different series every week. Next week, I'll talk about what is an essential oil and how I teach that in a class. And then I'll teach, and we might combine those because it's kind of short, combine what is an essential oil and why is doTERRA different and how I do it. But in reality, you could just read the paper or practice, because the more you watch those Healing Hands videos, watch the co-impact sourcing videos, and then you'll have stories in your mind. And so I can say, next time I'll tell you that. I won't take up all your time today. But I may say a story about Guatemala and how, but I try to intertwine it all. So I'm saying it all at once instead of trying to pick it all apart. I'm saying how amazing the co-impact sourcing is, and it's the Healing Hands Foundation goes in and helps and things like that. So hopefully this week is helpful. If you have any questions, just put it on the comments when we post this, and realize that you don't have to argue someone's point. So when someone comes to you and says they like vaccines, awesome. You're not going to change their mind. It's their choice. If they say they do not want to be vaccinated because vaccines cause autism, why would you argue with that? There is no proof for either side, no clear proof for either side. So we don't have to argue that. Now, when someone has a personal experience, you can't negate that. We just love them for who they are, and we just accept that, and we just let them speak, because people like to talk. Let them talk, and they can see the differences and the things that can help. And so we just keep the smile on, help people with our hearts and with our oils, and guide them to the right choices for them. Keep reading. If you're not reading some personal growth, this book is very, very good. This is the one I'm reading right now, and we're going to be starting I Am Worthy pretty soon. But this book is really great. So if you haven't read that, check it out. The Belief Blueprint. Okay. You guys have an awesome day. I will talk to you next Wednesday, and learn up the classes, guys.